Have you ever wondered why, after reaching 80, so many people suddenly seem to fade away, losing not just their physical strength, but their spark, their joy, even their very reason to keep going? What if I told you it's not just about genetics or luck? What if the real reasons are hidden in plain sight, quiet, surprising, and often overlooked? In this video, we're about to uncover 5 unexpected reasons why most seniors struggle to thrive past 80, reasons that aren't talked about enough, yet could change everything about how you or your loved ones age. If you want to protect your vitality, your mind, and your life's meaning, and take control of your golden years, stay with me until the very end. Because what you learn today could transform your journey through aging in ways you never imagined. Let's begin. 1. The disappearing microsocial connections. Why small daily interactions are vital for longevity. When we talk about social connections and health, most people imagine deep friendships, family bonds, or large social gatherings. But what many don't realize is that microsocial interactions, the small, seemingly trivial exchanges we have every day, are absolutely critical for our brain's health and overall well-being, especially as we age past 80. What are microsocial connections? Microsocial connections include those brief moments of social contact that often go unnoticed. Smiling at the mail carrier, exchanging a few words with the grocery store clerk, nodding to a neighbor walking their dog, or even a quick good morning to the person at the bus stop. These interactions might seem insignificant on the surface. However, neuroscience shows that these brief social stimuli actively engage parts of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, memory, and cognitive function. For example, studies using functional MRI have demonstrated that social interactions activate the prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex, areas critical for empathy, decision-making, and emotional processing. These activations help maintain neural plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself, which tends to decline with age. The hidden biological power of small social moments. Every time you engage in a brief social exchange, your brain releases neurotransmitters such as dopamine, often called the feel-good chemical linked to motivation and reward, oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone, which reduces stress and promotes feelings of trust and safety. Serotonin helps regulate mood, sleep, and appetite. These chemicals not only make you feel better in the moment, but also have lasting positive effects on your brain's structure and function. On the other hand, lack of social interaction triggers the body's stress response, increasing cortisol levels. Chronic elevation of cortisol leads to increased inflammation, suppressed immunity, and accelerated cellular aging. This is one reason why social isolation is linked with higher mortality rates in seniors. Scientific evidence connecting social engagement and longevity. A landmark study published in PLOS Medicine in 2010 analyzed data from over 300,000 adults and found that social isolation and loneliness increased the risk of premature death by up to 29%, a risk comparable to smoking and obesity. Another research in the journals of gerontology showed that seniors engaging regularly in small social interactions had better memory retention and lower incidence of cognitive decline. How does this look in real life? Consider Mr. Frank, an 85-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. Every morning, he walks to his neighborhood cafe, greets the barista by name, chats briefly with the mailman, and waves to a few familiar neighbors. These small, consistent interactions are part of Frank's daily rhythm and are vital to his mental sharpness and emotional stability. Contrast this with Mr. James, 83, who after losing his wife, retreated indoors and rarely spoke to anyone outside his family. Over time, James felt invisible, his mood darkened, and his cognitive function declined. Why does social withdrawal often happen after 80? Several factors contribute: physical limitations. Hearing loss, vision impairment, or mobility issues make going out and interacting more challenging. Environmental changes. Moving to assisted living or retirement homes can disrupt familiar social routines. Psychological factors. Grief, depression, or anxiety may cause seniors to withdraw. Technological shifts. Increasing reliance on online shopping and digital communication can reduce face-to-face contact. What can you do to preserve microsocial engagement? Make it a daily goal to greet someone, even a stranger. Walk to a nearby cafe or park regularly to increase social exposure. Volunteer for community activities to build new social ties. Use assistive devices, hearing aids, walkers to increase confidence in social settings. Encourage family members to include seniors in outings and conversations. Remember, these moments don't need to be lengthy or profound. The key is consistency and presence. 2. The trap of overcautiousness. Moving less means losing more. As people age, especially beyond 80, it's natural to become more cautious. Falls and injuries are common concerns, and rightly so. A single slip can lead to serious fractures or hospitalization, so seniors often adopt a more sedentary lifestyle, either out of fear or on advice from well-meaning family and caregivers. However, this overcautiousness can ironically accelerate decline and increase vulnerability. It creates a paradox. By trying to avoid harm, one actually invites a different kind of harm, physical deconditioning, and loss of independence. How does this happen? Our bodies are designed for movement. The musculoskeletal system, muscles, bones, joints, depends on regular stress and activity to maintain strength and flexibility. When movement decreases, muscles begin to atrophy rapidly. This process is called sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. Scientific studies show that, after just 2 weeks of inactivity, muscle mass can decrease by as much as 5% in elderly adults. This loss is especially pronounced in the core muscles, the deep muscles around the abdomen and back that stabilize posture and balance. The result? Less stability, increased risk of falls, slower recovery times, and greater dependency on others. The brain-body connection. Physical inactivity doesn't only weaken muscles, it also impacts the brain. Exercise and movement stimulate neurogenesis, the growth of new neurons, particularly in the hippocampus, which is essential for memory and learning. Inactivity, especially prolonged bed rest or sitting, reduces blood flow to the brain and decreases the release of beneficial neurochemicals like brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which supports brain plasticity. A 2019 study in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults with lower levels of physical activity had a twofold increased risk of cognitive impairment and depression. Psychological impact of fear. Fear of falling or post-fall syndrome can be as debilitating as actual physical injuries. Seniors may develop anxiety about movement, avoid leaving home, or stop doing activities they once enjoyed. This withdrawal can spiral into social isolation, depression, and further physical decline, a vicious cycle. Walter, 82, was a once-active man who enjoyed evening walks. After slipping on a wet sidewalk one rainy day, no fractures, no serious injury, he became fearful. Over months, Walter stopped his walks, spending most evenings sitting and watching TV. His muscle strength diminished rapidly, his balance worsened, and he required more help for everyday tasks. His doctor explained, "Walter, your decline isn't from injury, it's from inactivity caused by fear." How to break free from overcautiousness. Recognize the difference between caution and fear. Caution is taking steps to stay safe. Fear stops you from moving altogether. Use safety aids wisely. Handrails, walkers, non-slip shoes, well-lit pathways. These tools help you move confidently. Start small and gradual. Short walks inside or in the yard, gentle stretching, simple balance exercises. Engage in strength training. Exercises targeting core muscles improve stability. Physical therapists can guide tailored programs. Build a support system. Friends or family who encourage movement and join you on walks or activities. Address fear psychologically. Talk to healthcare providers about anxiety related to falling. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help. Practical exercise tips. Try sit-to-stand exercises to build leg strength. Sit on a sturdy chair, stand up slowly without using hands, then sit down. Repeat 10 times. Practice heel-to-toe walking to improve balance. Walk in a straight line, placing one foot directly in front of the other. Gentle Tai Chi or yoga can enhance balance, flexibility, and confidence. Moving less out of fear is one of the biggest hidden risks to healthy aging. Your body and brain need movement, not reckless risk, but consistent, safe activity, to maintain strength, balance, and cognitive function. Like Walter's story shows, inactivity driven by fear leads to rapid decline. So protect yourself wisely, but keep moving every day. Remember, movement is more than prevention of falls. It's the foundation for your independence, mental sharpness, and joy of living. 3. Disrupted sleep cycles from poor light exposure. The hidden clock inside you. As we age, especially after reaching 80, many people find their sleep patterns changing, difficulty falling asleep, waking up frequently, or feeling unrefreshed in the morning. While many attribute these issues simply to getting older, the underlying cause often relates to disruption of the body's circadian rhythm, the internal biological clock that orchestrates nearly every physiological process. What exactly is the circadian rhythm? The circadian rhythm is a roughly 24-hour cycle controlled by the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, a tiny cluster of neurons in the hypothalamus. This internal clock synchronizes bodily functions with the external environment, primarily by responding to light cues. Light detected by the retina travels directly to the SCN, which then signals to other parts of the brain and body to regulate hormones like melatonin and cortisol. Melatonin promotes sleep, typically rising in the evening as darkness falls, while cortisol helps wake you up in the morning by increasing alertness and energy. Why does aging affect this clock? With age, several changes impair the circadian system. Decreased retinal light sensitivity. The eye's lens thickens and yellows, pupils become smaller, reducing the amount of light reaching the SCN. Reduced daytime light exposure. Older adults tend to spend more time indoors, less outside in bright sunlight, especially in winter or in care facilities. Increased exposure to artificial light at night. Use of smartphones, tablets, TVs, and bright indoor lighting emits blue light, which suppresses melatonin production. The domino effect of circadian disruption. When the circadian rhythm is disturbed, the consequences ripple through many body systems. Sleep disturbances, difficulty falling asleep, fragmented sleep, waking too early, or excessive daytime napping. Cognitive decline. Poor sleep quality contributes to impaired memory, reduced concentration, and increased risk of dementia. Mood disorders, disrupted rhythms are linked to depression and anxiety. Immune dysfunction. Sleep disruption weakens immune defenses, making infections more likely and slowing recovery. Metabolic issues. Circadian misalignment affects glucose metabolism and appetite regulation, increasing risk for diabetes and weight gain. Research highlights. A 2018 study in Sleep Journal found that elderly individuals exposed to more natural light during the day had longer total sleep time and fewer awakenings. Another research in Frontiers in Neurology linked circadian disruption to increased beta amyloid buildup in the brain, a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Vitamin D, the sunshine nutrient. Sunlight exposure also enables the skin to synthesize vitamin D, essential for bone density, muscle strength, and immune function. Aging skin produces vitamin D less efficiently, so regular sunlight becomes even more important to prevent osteoporosis and muscle weakness. Practical example, Helen's remarkable turnaround. Helen, 84, was experiencing fatigue, memory fog, and mood swings. Her doctor ruled out medical illnesses and medications. After assessing her lifestyle, the doctor recommended 2 simple changes. Sit by a sunny window or take a morning walk for at least 20 minutes daily. Avoid screen time and bright lights 1 hour before bedtime. Within 2 weeks, Helen reported improved sleep quality, better mood, and sharper memory. How can you reset your internal clock? Maximize daylight exposure. Spend time outdoors every morning, even on cloudy days. If going outside is difficult, sit near a bright window. Reduce evening light exposure. Dim lights after sunset, use warm light bulbs, and avoid electronics close to bedtime or install blue light filters. Keep a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time daily, including weekends. Create a sleep-friendly environment. Ensure your bedroom is dark, cool, and quiet. Use blackout curtains and minimize noise. Consider light therapy. Special bright light boxes can help regulate rhythms, especially in winter or for those in assisted living. Consult your healthcare provider. Vitamin D supplementation. After blood tests, supplement if deficient, especially in less sunny climates or seasons. In essence, your body's hidden clock governs much more than just sleep. It coordinates your mood, immune defenses, metabolism, and cognitive health. Aging naturally impairs this clock, but lifestyle changes, especially optimizing light exposure, can restore balance. Simple habits like morning sunlight and evening dimness are powerful tools to improve sleep and overall vitality. Remember Helen's story: small adjustments can bring big improvements, even after 80. Taking care of your internal clock means investing in your quality of life, resilience, and independence for years to come. 4. Bottled up grief and emotional isolation, the invisible weight. The emotional landscape of aging, more than meets the eye. When we think about aging, we often focus on the physical changes, wrinkles, slower movement, or health problems. But beneath the surface, the emotional world of older adults can be just as challenging, sometimes even more so. By the time many people reach their 80s, their hearts have carried decades of joy, love, but also loss and sorrow. Spouses, siblings, lifelong friends, and sometimes even children may have passed away. The cumulative weight of these losses can silently press down on their spirit. While society often offers polite sympathy, "I'm sorry for your loss," the deep, ongoing grief and emotional pain that many seniors feel is rarely fully acknowledged or addressed. Why do many seniors bottle up their grief? There are many reasons. Cultural expectations. Older generations were often taught to be strong, not to complain or show vulnerability. Fear of burdening others. Many do not want to upset family or friends by expressing sadness. Loneliness and isolation. Without close social connections, there may be no one trusted to talk to. Internalized stigma. Some feel that grief is a private matter, or that they should have gotten over it by now. As a result, many seniors push their emotions down, presenting a brave face while the pain simmers underneath. The hidden biological consequences of suppressed grief. Modern science, particularly the field of psychoneuroimmunology, has revealed just how closely connected our minds and bodies are. When grief is bottled up and not expressed, the immune system becomes dysregulated. Chronic emotional stress lowers white blood cell counts and weakens the body's ability to fight infections. This makes older adults more vulnerable to illnesses such as flu, pneumonia, or even slower recovery from wounds. Hormonal imbalances occur. Elevated cortisol, the body's stress hormone, disrupts sleep, reduces energy, and can increase blood sugar and blood pressure, contributing to chronic conditions. The nervous system remains in a constant low-grade state of stress. This fight-or-flight mode leads to exhaustion, increased anxiety, muscle tension, and headaches. Digestive issues emerge. Stress affects the gut-brain axis, potentially causing poor digestion, malabsorption of nutrients, and gastrointestinal discomfort. Brain health declines. Emotional distress and isolation increase risk for depression and cognitive decline, potentially accelerating diseases like Alzheimer's. The vicious cycle of emotional isolation. Grief and emotional pain are hard enough to bear. When combined with social isolation, their negative effects multiply. Seniors who lose loved ones often find their social circles shrinking. Without trusted people to share their feelings, the pain feels heavier and lonelier. Isolation itself can cause brain changes that mimic depression and cognitive decline. This creates a feedback loop. Emotional pain leads to withdrawal. Withdrawal causes loneliness and fewer social supports. Loneliness increases emotional pain and physical vulnerability. Breaking this cycle is essential for healthy aging. The science behind emotional expression and healing. Research consistently shows that expressing emotions, whether through conversation, writing, art, or spirituality, facilitates healing. It activates brain areas responsible for processing trauma and integrates emotional memories. It reduces physiological stress markers like cortisol and inflammatory cytokines. It improves immune function and sleep quality. It fosters feelings of connection and meaning. A study published in Psychological Science demonstrated that individuals who wrote about their deepest thoughts and feelings after trauma showed better physical and mental health outcomes over time. George, 86, was known as a man of quiet dignity and strength. He lost his wife after 60 years together but rarely spoke of his pain. To neighbors and family, he seemed fine, sometimes replying with a stoic, "It's life," when asked. But inside, George's grief was like a locked room. Over the course of a year, his health declined. He lost weight, stopped going to social gatherings, and suffered from chronic insomnia. Eventually, a family member encouraged George to join a local grief support group. For the first time in years, he shared his story and felt heard. This emotional release helped him regain sleep, improve his mood, and slowly reconnect with friends. Practical ways to support emotional health and grief processing. For seniors and their loved ones, it's important to recognize that emotional health is as vital as physical health. Create safe, non-judgmental spaces. Encourage open conversations about loss and feelings. Use journaling or creative arts. Writing, painting, or music can help express difficult emotions. Engage in community or spiritual groups. Faith communities or support groups offer connection and meaning. Seek professional help. Therapists or counselors specializing in grief can provide guidance and tools. Normalize feelings. Remind seniors it's okay to feel sadness, anger, or loneliness. These are natural parts of healing. Healing emotional wounds is not just about feeling better. It has real, measurable effects on physical health and longevity. Addressing grief and isolation reduces stress hormones, improves immune resilience, and protects cognitive function. It can mean the difference between a long, engaged life and one shadowed by depression and chronic illness. 5. The slow fade of daily purpose. Why small reasons to get up matter. The quiet power of daily purpose. When we talk about purpose, many imagine grand dreams or life-changing missions, climbing mountains, changing the world, or leaving a legacy. Yet for most of us, especially seniors, purpose often comes down to something much simpler, yet profoundly meaningful. The small, everyday reasons to get out of bed and engage with life. Daily purpose is about having reasons, no matter how modest, that make your day matter, that give you a sense of belonging, responsibility, or joy. It might be as simple as watering a beloved plant, preparing a cup of tea, caring for a pet, or writing a letter to a friend. Why does having a purpose matter for seniors? Over decades of research in positive psychology and gerontology, a clear link emerges between having a purpose and better aging outcomes. Physical health and longevity. People with a clear purpose tend to live longer and suffer fewer chronic illnesses. Purpose motivates activity and self-care. Mental health. Purpose is strongly linked to lower rates of depression and anxiety. It offers hope and motivation. Resilience. A sense of meaning provides emotional strength to face health challenges and losses. Cognitive function. Purposeful engagement keeps the brain active, improving memory, attention, and learning. For example, a landmark study in the Journal of Gerontology followed over 1,000 adults aged 65 plus for 7 years. Those reporting strong purpose had a 30% lower risk of death than those without, even after adjusting for health status and demographics. The brain chemistry of purpose. Purpose activates the brain's dopaminergic system, involved in motivation and reward. When you feel your day has meaning, dopamine release increases, providing energy and focus. Without purpose, these systems slow down, leading to apathy, fatigue, and reduced engagement. This can spiral into physical inactivity, social withdrawal, and worsening health. The slow fade, how purpose diminishes in seniors. Loss of purpose rarely happens overnight. Instead, it's a gradual process, often invisible until it has significant impact. Common triggers include health limitations. Reduced mobility or chronic pain restricts activities and hobbies. Social changes. Friends and family may visit less often, or seniors may lose roles like caregiving or volunteering. Life transitions. Retirement, widowhood, or moving to assisted living can disrupt daily routines and identity. Psychological factors. Depression or grief can dull motivation and interest. As these changes accumulate, the rhythm of daily life loses its structure. Days blend into one another, and motivation to engage with life weakens. The body responds to loss of purpose. Scientific evidence shows that the brain and body are interconnected in how they respond to purpose. Metabolic slowdown. Without mental motivation, physical activity drops, slowing metabolism. Immune function declines. Purpose activates systems that promote immune resilience. Without it, susceptibility to illness increases. Neural plasticity decreases. Purpose keeps brain networks flexible and adaptive. Its absence accelerates cognitive aging. Hormonal balance shifts. Lack of purpose can increase stress hormones like cortisol, impairing sleep and healing. In essence, the body listens to the mind. When the mind signals, "I'm not needed," biological systems reduce repair and energy expenditure, contributing to decline. Ruth, 88, was known in her community for her liveliness and sharp mind. She was neither wealthy nor in perfect health but maintained a bright spirit. Her secret was simple but powerful. She had daily routines that gave her purpose. Every Monday, she wrote letters to shut-ins from her church. Every Thursday, she cooked soup and donated it to a shelter. In the afternoons, she sat by the window, greeting neighborhood children returning from school by name. These small rituals gave her days meaning, structure, and connection, a reason to wake up, engage, and contribute. Practical ways seniors can rekindle purpose. Set achievable daily goals, water plants, prepare a simple meal, or organize personal items. Maintain social roles. Engage in family activities, help grandchildren, or mentor younger people. Join community or faith groups. Social and spiritual engagement reinforce purpose. Volunteer. Giving back fosters meaning and connection. Explore or revive hobbies. Painting, gardening, reading, or music. Communicate your needs. Let family and caregivers know what matters to you. Even small steps make a big difference. As we come to the end of this journey together, remember this. Aging is not just about the years we count, but about the moments that give those years meaning. The silent losses, the fading purpose, the quiet isolation, they don't have to define us or our loved ones. Because inside each of us lies an incredible capacity to reconnect, to heal, and to thrive. You have more power than you think, the power to reclaim your vitality, to rewrite your story, and to live with joy and dignity, no matter your age. So take these 5 truths to heart. Let them guide your days. Start small, reach out, move gently, feel deeply. And most importantly, never stop believing that your best years can still be ahead. Thank you for being here. Share your thoughts below. Your story might be the light someone else needs. And if this video moved you, please like, subscribe, and share to help others find their way to a brighter, fuller life. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep shining.